Okay. I can't do that.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, we're going to be going live in about 3 minutes. 3 seconds.
Hey, Isaac, can I record my speech?
Yeah, sure. Let me give you access. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you happen to be in. We are leaders worldwide, presidents distinguished. Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our founding president, Cynthia Stott. Cynthia, you have the podium.
Hi, thank you so much, Isaac. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have this meeting today. And for the first time in forever, like over a year, we don't have any guests. No one to introduce, but we have our members here and we're ready to go with a great presentation. We've got 4 TEDx elite speakers speaking today, and we have 4 evaluators, including one of our newest members, Alex Balish, who will be also evaluating, and the rest are elite speakers that will be evaluating each other. So without further ado, I will give it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Nadine James.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is where you are. So I am the Toastmaster of the day. My name is Dr. Nadine James. And first, I would just like to tell all of you that, as Cynthia said, we do have 4 speakers today and 4 evaluators. I'm not sure why I'm seeing just a minute here. Right, we do have 4 speakers today, 4 evaluators. And our speakers today are Ryan Roper. Our second speaker is Carolyn Kelly. And our third speaker is Dorothy King. And our 4th is Rosalind Khan. And our evaluators, they'll be taking turns to evaluate each other. Now, first up, our timer is Taze McLeod. So Taze, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Taze, do you mind going over what the timing will look like for each speech? The speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. And
Okay. You hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Great. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. No, I was about to say specially invited guests, but not this evening, not this afternoon / good morning. I am the timer for tonight's for today's meeting, and it will be my responsibility to be timing the various rules of the meeting. The green indicates that you're in time. So for our prepared speakers, the green will show up when you make the 5-minute mark. The yellow will show up when you make the 6 minutes, and the red will show up when you make the seventh minute, which will indicate that you have 30 more seconds in order to wrap up.
Thank you, Taze.
Yeah.
And what I forgot to say, the meeting theme is the TEDx Elite Speaker Pod. And I believe we have a secondary theme, which is called New Beginnings. So I just wanted to know that. All right. Now,
Right.
So our first evaluator is Alex Balish. Alex, are you here?
I am.
Awesome. And Alex, Wait, actually, hold on, before that.
That's fine.
Wait. Alex, I would like you to announce the speech path and project purpose and timing for our first speaker, who is Ryan Roper.
So Ryan is doing a motivational strategies 3-14, understanding vocal variety. Present a speech of any topic highlighting vocal variety. At Ryan Roper.
Okay, so Ryan Roper. Ryan is the founder and director of, Ryan is the founder, director, innovator, and project manager focused on the global energy transition through effective data architecture and analytics, visualization, and resource management. Ryan Roper, we've got 99 problems and going to Mars ain't one. We've got 99 problems and going to Mars ain't one. Ryan Roper.
Apologies. Before we start, is there a word of the day, Mr. Timer? Apologies.
I did not see, I saw it earlier, but with the changes, I'm not sure. With the changes,
No, this is a pod, TEDx pod, so we don't have a general evaluator on purpose. It's a simplicity of the pod. So no word of the day, no grammarian.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'm ready to begin again. If you don't mind, we
okay,
can.
sure, no problem. I just have to go back to my sheet. All right. Alex Roper. Alex Roper. We've got 99 problems and going to Mars ain't one. We've got 99 problems and going to Mars ain't one. Alex Roper.
I've been in love with science, technology, and engineering my whole life. As a child, I loved tearing things apart just to see what was on the inside. As an adult, I developed concept designs for major projects and execute them as part of large multidisciplinary teams. It takes hundreds of people, hundreds of millions of dollars, and even more people work hours to get these projects done. These projects change the world, adding significant value to the world's energy needs. And I believe that similar teams of people can design and execute projects that solve the world's greatest challenges. In general, projects can be considered greenfield, like building a brand new house, new beginnings, if you will, in a brand new development. And these projects generally overrun their cost and schedule by about 50% on average. And that's because project management teams are often quite optimistic. A project can also be a brownfield project. And that's like renovating your home while you're still living in it, or adding an extension deck in an already used neighborhood. And brownfield projects can overrun their cost and schedule by as much as 100% on average. Going to Mars, I'm going to coin a phrase today. I'm going to call it a red field project. That's because you're going to Mars. And red field project is full of unknown unknowns. It's like building a house made of candy and vibranium and kryptonite all simultaneously. It's never been done. So many unknown unknowns. So with that in mind, NASA estimates that a successful manned launch to Mars would cost about $500 billion. And the nearest potential mission launch date is 2029. Using my experience in project management and construction and knowing what I've just said in terms of project management teams being optimistic, 500% overrun is not an unnormal potential cost, and potential start date of 2040 is very feasible. So while Jeff, Elon, and Richard progress what in their minds are the shiny and sexy projects that bring their boyhood fantasies of being Captain James T. Kirk to life, boldly going nowhere no man has gone before, there remain so many sexy problems and challenges that need to be solved right here on Earth. Problems that stretch the limits of our imagination, our technology, our ability to work together as successful teams of the brightest minds. What would you do with $2.5 trillion and 17 years between now and 2040? I've put some numbers together. What can we do? We can solve world hunger. According to Oxfam, $37 million each year over 17 years does it. Solves world hunger. We can infuse $20 billion in climate education and awareness to help all of us get better understanding of how to use electricity and energy more efficiently, more effectively. We can provide $34 billion in terms of energy efficiency for existing buildings and homes and the future buildings and homes. We can change climate financing structures with $85 billion towards banking, cooperatives, credit unions. And we're not done there. $2.5 trillion isn't spent yet. We can put $500 billion towards forest conservation, sustainable agriculture, and green infrastructure, so vitally needed in places like California and Florida. And still we're not done. $50 billion annually towards renewable energy projects over 17 years can make a massive positive impact towards climate change effects. And still more, we can flood-proof 50 global cities the size of New Orleans so that they can become the safe havens, the points of refuge when people are, not if, people are impacted by these catastrophic events. So where would you rather spend $2.5 trillion over 17 years? We've got 99 problems, and I say going to Mars ain't one. This discussion isn't meant to be political. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, fact, global temperatures and sea levels are rising. Fact, the number and intensity of hurricanes are increasing every year. And fact, the negative effects of these impacts on our physical and our mental well-being is draining. I've got a house in Florida. What am I going to do to protect my house and my household? People with the resources and influence to greatly influence this change should not be focused on marketing Mars as the next best hope for civilization sustainability. What would you do with $2.5 trillion in 17 years? If these people with the massive resources and influence to take up this challenge won't take it up, then the onus is on us as individuals at the club level, at the city level, to make the changes. Here are some of the highest impacting things that you as an individual can do to move closer to net zero emissions. One, shift your mindset. We all don't need to utilize electricity when we're not in the room. We don't all need to eat as much animal food as we do, particularly beef. And we can use and dispose of a lot less plastic than we used to be. Two, we can live more sustainably. We don't need to be afraid of plants and animals, and we need to relearn the relationship between nature and humans, particularly how nature can heal humans. We seem to have forgotten some of these fundamentals. And three, let's take massive action. Be introspective is what I say. Ask yourself, what can I do to leave a planet where our future generations can live, innovate, and grow as part of the planet's ecosystem? Maybe you don't have the capability to design and innovate a renewable energy project like I can, but maybe you can have meatless Mondays. Or maybe you can reduce your carbon footprint by working from home, planting a kitchen garden, or supporting your local farmers. What are you going to do to sustain the planet, our home, and allow our children, our subsequent generations, to focus on innovation and progress rather than being forced to struggle and concentrate their time, their efforts on their own security and safety? Master Toastmaster, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you, Ryan. Excellent, excellent speech. So, Mr. Timer, could you give us 1 minute on the clock for the evaluation to be conducted?
Okay.
And
The minute is up.
I think he's frozen. Are you? Okay, thank you. I think you might be frozen, James.
Yeah, the minute is up.
Okay, thank you. All right, so our next evaluator is Ryan Roper, and Ryan will be Ryan will be announcing the speech path, project purpose, and timing of Carrie Lynn Kelly's speech.
Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, invited guests. The next speaker is Miss Carrie Kelly. Her speech title is The Silence is Loud. She'll be doing the same one that I did, Motivational Strategies Level 2, Understanding Vocal Variety. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance her speech. And I'll be looking at her vocal variety, of course, her clarity, and her eye contact and gestures. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
All right, so Carrie, there's no introduction for Carrie today because Carrie is practicing for her upcoming contest. Carrie Kelly, the silence is very loud. The silence is very loud, Carrie Kelly.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that they're traveling wrong, I am committed to ending child abuse. And I have some very personal examples that I want to share with you that may be hard to hear today. When I was 14 months old, I was shaken. And while I was being shaken, my head was hit on something and fluid built up on my brain. And I didn't get medical attention for 10 whole days. Consequently, I am now legally blind, which means I have enough eyesight to get in trouble, but not enough to get a driver's license. And I have seen the way some of you people with normal eyesight drive, and I could drive just as bad. I have the worst road rage too. From the passenger seat, I will let the universal sign language fly if I don't see you using the blinker, and the person driving me has to slam on the brakes. So when I was 4 years old, I was adopted, and I'm in the back seat of my brand new mom and dad's car after they have picked me up from my foster home that I've been in for most of what I can remember. I'm crying hysterically, inconsolable. And my brand new mother turns it from the passenger seat. She points her finger at me. She says, "Karen, shut up all that noise." And I shut up. My brand new father, who's driving the car, stayed quiet. That silence was very loud. Come with me 4 years later when I am 8 years old, and we're gonna go to church. We're going to a Pentecostal church, so we're gonna be there for a little while. Look over in the choir stand and you will see a bunch of little children all dressed in yellow. And this is the little kids' choir. And I'm 8 years old. I got on my pretty little yellow dress. And I'm fidgeting and wiggling and whispering to my friend next to me. And my mother gets out of her seat. As she walks over to the front of the choir stand, she points her finger at me. "Karen, Shut up talking in church. That entire church, including the pastor, went quiet. That silence is a very loud. Come with me the very next day on Monday morning when my mom drops me off at the babysitter's. And my school bus will be picking me up from here to take me to school. And before that happens, I get cereal and I get to watch Sesame Street on a tiny little black and white TV. So my babysitter's 19-year-old grandson comes over and grabs me by my hand and takes me into his bedroom, where he shoves socks in my mouth and takes off my pants and my underwear and gets on top of me. And while I am laying there, I hear my bus come and go without me on it. I know that I'm going to be in trouble because that silence is very loud. I got to be all grown up at one point, and there were people in my life that understood that I was in harm's way. So when I asked them about why they didn't say something or do something, I got hand wringing and foot shifting and excuse making. That is when I knew that they didn't want to be silent, but they didn't know what to say. Now, I have given you very personal examples of why I am committed to ending childhood abuse. And you have heard the examples of where I was being silenced when I was expressing my pain. Have you been silenced when you were trying to express your pain? And I told you about the people who wanted to speak up but didn't know what to say. Have you been silenced when you wanted to speak up and you didn't know what to say? May I encourage you to break the silence so that we can end child abuse, so this world can be a much better place? I have a 1-year-old grandson, and I am hoping that by the time he is 21, through my work, through my efforts with all of you and anyone that is willing and able to break the silence so that we can all end childhood abuse, this world will be a much better place. So my story shall not be in vain. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, Carrie. Excellent speech. Thank you so much. Mr. Timer, could you give us a minute on the clock for our evaluator two to have some time to conduct Carrie's evaluation?
Okay. Time up. Time is up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Timer. Now, Mr. Timer, could you demonstrate for us the timing for the evaluations?
Sure. When it comes to the evaluation segment is 2 to 3 minutes. The green card will be raised at the 2-minute mark. The yellow will be raised at the 2.5 minutes, and the red will be raised at the 3rd minute.
Do they have?
Thank you.
Do they have 30 seconds, 3 minutes and 30 seconds?
Yeah, 3 minutes and 30 seconds to wrap it up.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, now I would like to call our announce our first evaluator. So our first evaluator is Alex Baelish. Alex will be evaluating Ryan Roper. Mr. Timer, could you give him 2 minutes on the clock, please? Thank you.
Yes, Alex Baelish.
Sorry, 3 minutes.
Right, no problems.
Okay, Ryan, I love this speech. I loved what it was about. And I think that your hand gestures, your vocal variety you were going up and down, which is a great thing. Couple of things I think that you brought to the table, which was nice, is you saw a problem and you came up with a solution, which is really nice. Because I love the topic, and I think that it's something that really is a good food for thought. That being said, I really do believe you should have had a prop or two. Shown a picture of the amount, because the numbers are so big that they're bigger than the words. I think also, I know we're in a Zoom window, but if you could have moved around a little bit, it could have been great. The hand gestures were great, but if you moved around a little bit more, and to bring this to the next level, I think it would be an excellent speech to the next level, especially for either a TEDx or any other type of thing. But I think that the visual, either it's a PowerPoint or a picture, some type of prop would be the best. But on the whole, I love the topic. I think it's something that you could develop and speak just about anywhere with. So I'm really glad I got to evaluate you on that, and it was very clear, concise. Because you are a specialist in your field, you gave that background, which I loved, so that when you went to the smallest part, which is, I have a house in Florida, I don't want it to go away. That it might not have been a joke, but it's not a joke at the same time. The fact that you're smiling, and we're all smiling, because we would love to have that house in Florida, and I wish I could get the keys to it sometime. But that said, I think you did a great job. There's just a couple of things I think you could work on to really take it to the next level. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alex, for that wonderful evaluation of Ryan's speech. So our next evaluator is Ryan Roper, and Ryan will be evaluating Carrie Lynn.
Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, Carrie Kelly, what an amazing speech. Your clarity, phenomenal. Your spoken language is clear and very easy to understand. Your vocal variety, great pace at a volume that is readily heard by everyone. And it shows great preparation and readiness, especially over Zoom and this virtual platform. Your eye contact is actually amazing. And the speech content lets us really connect with you as you speak and as you make your eye contact with us. Your gestures, I believe there is some work to be done around gestures, and we'll talk about that a little bit more further on in the evaluation. This was a very difficult topic relating personal trauma, and it takes significant courage to open up to us about this. And I applaud that courage from you. I could see when I looked at other people's faces that you had everyone totally enraptured with your with your with your speech. And from your purposeful movement, I think there could be more purposeful movement. It's difficult when space might be limited and over Zoom, but I believe you could potentially stretch yourself to try to stand up next time and try to utilize the space around you, practice some of the whole body gestures that might make this speech even more powerful, more engaging, especially when you sing. Your singing made this speech even more impactful, even more powerful. The beginning of the speech was absolutely phenomenal and did a lot of work to bring us in to the speech, the content of the speech. Again, what you may want to work on, the gestures. There should be more gestures to help bring the speech together. And when presenting face to face, I'd like for you to keep in mind that it's best to really prepare. Think about how you stand and how your gestures will work and how it will work within the content of your speech. And this takes a lot of practice. All in all, a very good speech, Carrie, and I could see how it really enraptured and really had the entire audience listening to you very intently. Madam Toastmaster, that's my evaluation. Back to you.
Thank you, Ryan, for an excellent evaluation of Carrie's speech. Now, Mr. Timer, I am going to ask for 5 minutes on the clock for our break. If anybody has anything to say just before that, please do so now. Any questions, any comments? Okay, all right, Mr. Timer, please, 5 minutes on the clock. It's our break time. Thank you.
Thank you. Great meeting. And thank you, Ryan, for letting us know that you need to go early. And we appreciate you speaking and evaluating. And have a wonderful meeting today.
I've got 20 more minutes.
Okay. We'll see you next week. Carrie, you wrote me that you needed something. What was that?
Okay, so when I get the evaluation for Dee Marie, I can't read it because my technology will not read this format.
So you just need me to introduce her as the evaluator. Okay.
Yeah,
but you will do the evaluation. Is that right?
I'll do the actual evaluation. I just can't read the criteria for what it takes.
Okay. So
Thank you.
Nadine, can you introduce me to read the evaluation criteria?
Okay.
But Carrie is still going to be the evaluator.
Okay.
So that's a change. You're welcome. And I need her her speech information, and I can get that from the email and her evaluation form. Okay. Healer, effective body language. And Lynn Fraley. Oh, hi, Teresa. Glad you're here. And Lynn Fraley, is she here?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Lynn, we do have one guest. We have Mario as our.
Wonderful.
So you can call upon him to give a table topic.
Thank you.
And he's a Toastmaster, so he can go first even. He's well versed with. Welcome, Mario.
Cynthia, may I go in later as a table topic speaker or must I go now?
No, you can go later.
Thank you very much.
So you can check in with him, Lynn, when you're ready to go.
We're
with
about
table
50.
topics.
We're about 50
5
minutes.
minutes is up. I didn't know my mic was off.
What did you say, Lynn?
Aren't we about 50 minutes away from that?
Thank you. Welcome
No,
back.
it's pretty
Welcome
soon.
back.
Okay.
Welcome back. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back. So we're off to our second portion of our meeting today. The theme is new beginnings, and we are in the TEDx Elite Pod meeting. All right. Now, our next evaluator is Carolyn Kelly. However, Cynthia will be standing in for Carrie to introduce the speech path, project, purpose, and timing for Dorothy King.
Okay, great. And I've got to have my video off because I have to read here. So Dee Marie King is going to be speaking from the engaging humor pathway. And she's speaking on effective body language is her project. The purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how she uses nonverbal communication when delivering a speech. During the completion of this project, the member has spent time learning about and practicing his or her body language, including gestures and nonverbal communication. About the speech, the member will present a well-organized speech on any topic. Watch for the member's awareness of his or her intentional and unintentional movement and body language. Note distracting movements as well as movements that enhance the speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style that the member chooses. The speech is not a report on the content of the Effective Body Language Project. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Cynthia. Our speaker, Dee Marie King, Dorothy King, Shy King, is a psychiatrist, psychiatric registered nurse with 25 years experience in mental health, she's an international motivated patient. Let me slow down. She is an international motivational speaker and a certified domestic violence facilitator. She's a self-published author of Glass Hearts, Forever Yours, where signature promotional message is the speech she will be presenting for us today. Dorothy King, put up or shut up? Put up or shut up, Dorothy King.
Have you ever heard a voice inside your head that spoke so profoundly, it caused you to stop in your tracks? I heard that voice at one point inside my head, and what it said to me was, put up or shut up. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guest, with this being Women's History Month, I want us to take a look at how one woman's voice actually changed the course of history. In another instance, because of a woman's discernment and her ability to be obedient, she actually changed the remainder of her entire life. Think back with me to August of 1963. It's the National Mall in Washington, D.C., at the foot of the Lincoln Memorial, where some 250,000 people had assembled, and the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is actually struggling to deliver a message of hope. The audience was milling about, not really paying him that much attention. That is, until the late gospel singer, Mahalia Jackson, walked across the platform and said these words. Tell him about the dream. Tell him about the dream, Martin. I have a dream. I have a dream today, were the next words to come out of Dr. King's mouth. Now, I want you to imagine sitting in that audience. And if you had been sitting there, you would have noticed the hush that came over the crowd. They began to give him their undivided attention. History has recorded his I Have a Dream speech as the greatest speech Dr. King ever gave, all because he decided to be obedient to the voice of a woman. My defining moment came at the lowest point in my entire existence. My life had been spared in an automobile accident. I was pent behind the wheel, the motor was smoking, and I was rendered unconscious. When I regained consciousness, I remember the smell of the oil and gas fumes coming up into the car. I remember a police officer coming to the window and saying, 911 has been called and help is on the way. But I don't remember the loud crash that had to have occurred when those two vehicles collided. I do remember saying to myself, I could die. I could die, as tears ran down my face. My car was careening off toward a huge metal telegram post. I pressed hard on the brake with my right foot in an effort to stop the car, but to no avail. The diagnosis was a fractured right tibia. I would be home for 4 months. I remember going from a wheelchair to these crutches. And at some point, I remember thinking, am I going to be on these crutches forever? How would you feel if you thought your diagnosis was to use crutches? But I stand here today to tell you the crutches have been cast aside. My gait and my stride are as good as ever. But something else did happen during those 4 months that I was home. I was sitting at my dining room table, and just as clearly as I'm speaking to you, I heard this voice inside my head that said, put up or shut up. How would you feel if you heard a voice inside your head that said that? I didn't have to wonder what that meant. I had written a poem in junior high school, and throughout my life, I had said, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. But getting married, having children, and going back to college as an adult left no time for writing a book. I decided to be obedient. I began to type the pages of Glass Heart Forever Yours, a romance novel. Then I thought, would God speak to someone like that? And is he telling me to write a romance novel? I pushed past all those thoughts and I continued to type the manuscript. I designed the cover and finished the book. Glass Heart Forever Yours is now a reality. My next defining moment came as I entered a room on Clubhouse where I heard the renowned motivational speaker, Les Brown, say these words. If you know that God has performed a miracle in your life, that's the first thing you should say wherever you find yourself. Because by telling your story, you may help someone else to tell their story. It was as if a light went off inside my head. I realized that I had not shared my story with anyone. I hadn't told a soul. And I was not attempting to promote the book that I had written. I decided to be obedient. And as I began to promote the book on Clubhouse and by live cast and LinkedIn, the audience began to tell me what the book meant to them. Immediately, I knew God had a plan all along, because they said that after the scourge and deaths of COVID-19, the social isolations, Glass Heart Forever Yours represented hope and a return to love and romance. So by being obedient to the voice inside my head, Glass Heart Forever Yours is now on Amazon, and I'm working to make it a bestseller. My advice to you today is simple. Stop making excuses. Stop putting off for tomorrow the things that you can do today. And women, use your voice to make a difference. Men, we need you. Because when men and women work together and support one another, we can change the world. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jean Marie King. Excellent, excellent speech. Thank you. All right. Now, okay, sorry, 1 minute silence on the, on the clock, please.
One minute is up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Our evaluator, Dorothy King, will introduce our fourth speaker, Rosalind Khan, and she will tell us about the speech path, project purpose, and timing.
Our fourth speaker is Rosalind Khan, and she's speaking from Strategic Relationships, Level 3, Connect with Storytelling. She will present an established story, a story about the speaker's life, or a fictional tale of the speaker's own creation. And she did send me the corrected title, and it's TV Trauma to TV Celebrity. The corrected title is TV Trauma to TV Celebrity. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, Rosalind Khan, TV Trauma to, I'm sorry, what was that? What was it called name again?
TV Trauma.
TV Trauma to TV Celebrity.
Okay, so Rosalind Khan, TV Trauma to TV Celebrity. TV Trauma to TV Celebrity, Rosalind Khan.
Buzz, 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 buzz. This is an emergency notice, emergency notice. We now have breaking news. Breaking news is coming to our television station. Amanda Shepard, the young girl who was kidnapped and hiding for 13 months, has been discovered. There was supposed to be a story on the TV about Connie Chung and how they discovered me, and it missed it. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, I want to know how many in the audience know a teacher, love a teacher, or have ever seen a teacher pass their path. Wow, I can see by those shake of hands, you all go, yes. Well, the tale I'm going to tell you is my story where my name was blasted all across the world and it was all a lie. So let me take it back. Where did it all begin? Now, to know me is to know that I love teaching, and an opportunity to teach a new class is something I've always desired. To become a full-time teacher, I crave the opportunity to do it each and every day. Well, here's what happened. One day, I was offered a class at a new school, and it was a class in small group communication, just like our little pods that we have here in Toastmasters. You break up in little groups and you communicate with one another. happen. And on the first day, I gave an assignment that's called the Getting to Know You. And what the students would do is write down my name is, what I like, what my interests are, what I want to do. And there's this one student we'll call John Smith, told me that he was bipolar. Bipolar? Interesting. He even went ahead and invited me to be the mentor of his special interest group. One problem, it wasn't the same political affiliation that I had, but I wanted to be a full-time teacher. Forget it, it doesn't matter. Now, two things you need to know about being in my class. Just like Toastmasters, we need to be on time. I don't like people coming in late. And number two, assignments must be turned in on time. Now, these students seem to have a problem of coming to class on time. They come as they please, go as they please. It's a nationwide problem. If you're a teacher, you know about people coming in late. You know about people coming to work in late. Well, there was an assignment, and there was one story that was in the news. It was called the Armory of Mass Destruction. And if you've ever written a letter to the President of the United States, he doesn't write to a personal, hey, Rosalind, thanks for your comments. I'll take your words in. He says, thanks for your comments. That's it. Now, these students came to class, and you know, before I tell you, they weren't necessarily early. They were late again. Again, late. Well, I said, I'm sorry. I won't accept this assignment. The scary thing is what they did. They went and took this information to an organization. It's called FIRE. Not the building burning down. It's the Federal Institution of the Rights of Education. And they take normal, average people and make them into wackos, crazy people. And so my name was splattered all across the world. And people said, what did you do, Rosalind? What'd you do? What'd you do, Rosalind? Rosalind wouldn't do a thing like that. She's such a kind individual. And I was pulled into school number 1. And they said, Rosalind, you aren't doing these things at this school, are you? No, I have a student in the United States Marines who works at Camp Pendleton. His job is to send the people off to war. I couldn't be prouder to have the student come every week from San Diego all the way out to Pasadena to be in my class. Well, you better be careful, Rosalind, because if we see you doing this stuff here, you're in real trouble. Wasn't doing anything wrong. And then the phone rings. Hi, Rosalind, we're calling you from LA City College. You know, we're getting these wackos from the deep south, and they're calling us, and they're wondering what you're doing in this classroom and what's going on here. But Rosalind, you know, the classroom is all yours. What you want to do and what you can do with those students is up to you, entirely up to you. The stories kept on going on. There was a student of mine who sent me a box of chocolates, and life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And she was a student of mine who'd taken a class at Fullerton College and said to me that when she learned public speaking, went to graduate school, they looked at her and marveled, where did you learn those public speaking skills from? You are phenomenal. Same teacher they're persecuting and saying is so horrible. Well, there was this day I was down in Inglewood, and the students were being absolutely horrible, but I couldn't say anything to my students about what was happening. I had to be, but you'd go in the car, and in the car, latest news, teacher of such and such college is in the news, and and it was in the court. It was out of the court. It was in the court, and out of the court, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. And finally, one day, it was thrown out of court. And when it was thrown out of court, it went into mediation. And here's what happened next. What happened next is they asked me to tell my story. And I walked in and I said, my name is Rosalind. I love my students more than ever. And I have 2 rules. When they turn in their stuff late, no way. And I want them to come to class on time. And they didn't turn their stuff in on time. And when the mediation came to an end, my attorney and I walked down the hall, and he looked at me and he said, Rosalind, you are by far the best storyteller I've ever met. And you'll never guess what? I won 1.5 years of salary with the condition I couldn't tell anybody. Well, the story continued. I got more interviews than ever before. I'm still teaching to this time. Just received an award for the outstanding teacher, and that interview on Connie Chung's stage saying that got wiped out. It doesn't matter, because right now I have my own television show. So it doesn't have to be Connie Chung. It's Rosalind Kahn on Living Your Best Life. That is how terror goes to trauma. So here's the lesson for you all. If you've been abused in your schooling situation, which many of us have, the message is speak up. Don't keep it inside. The world needs to know. Your message is valuable, and you need to let the world know what is right and what is wrong. I'm not a criminal. I'm not deceived, and I'm not a crazy person. Madam Toastmaster, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you, Rosalind. Excellent speech. Thank you so much. Just. Mr. Timer, could you give us 1 minute silence on the clock?
Yes, I can. One minute is up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Mr. Timer, up next we have the evaluations for our third and fourth speech by Dorothy King and Rosalind Kahn. Can you demonstrate for us the timing in regards to the evaluations?
Yes, I can. For the evaluations of the prepared speakers, you will have a minimum of 2 minutes and a maximum of 3 minutes. The green card will be up at 2 minutes. The yellow card will be up at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The red card will be up at 3 minutes, and you will have 30 seconds to wrap up to be eligible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Our third evaluator is Carrie Lynn Kelly, who will be evaluating the speech of D. Marie King.
D. Marie, you know I love your speech. I love the reference to Martin Luther King and Mahalia Jackson when she says, "Tell them about the dream, Martin. Tell them about the dream." And how the audience just pays attention all of a sudden. I would urge you maybe to not use the crutches from the very beginning and maybe put them on when you are talking about the accident or when you are worried about when you might have to be on crutches. I love that you held the book up longer and we got to see it more. And I love that you had connections with the messages that we all need to share. You know, that we need to put up or shut up, and the connections to the inspirations where your inspiration came from, the voice in your head, and the Les Brown quotes. And those can be inspirational for everybody. I really appreciated this speech today. And I'm confident that your book will be the bestseller that you want it to be. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, D. Marie. Our fourth evaluator is D. Marie King, and she'll be evaluating she will be evaluating question Rosalind Khan.
Breaking news, breaking news. What a way to start a speech. That got my attention.
Wait,
Because
just a
normally,
minute. I'm sorry, just a minute. Taze, your color is on red.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you. Go ahead. Could you start the clock again, please? Thank you. Go ahead, Jean Marie.
breaking news, breaking news. What a way to start a speech. Because normally when we hear the words breaking news, we know that something significant or crucial is about to take place. And did she ever tell us that or not? The trauma that had developed in her life simply because she was trying to be a good teacher. The things that you did well, Rosalind, I loved your body gestures, your hand gestures, and your vocal variety. You had us all sitting on the edge of our seat wondering, where is she going with this? And then when you told us that the students had waged a campaign against you simply because you said be on time and do your homework on time. My goodness, that's why they go to school, right? Why the kids are there. But your facial expressions were priceless. You named off 3 different things. You started out with being on time, doing their homework on time, and just being accountable. Then you said students were late again, but they had launched this campaign to try and get you fired. Unbelievable. But you said you were in and out of court, in and out of court, and you said that so many times that it registered so very well. But the words that caught me the most was to say, I won my case. You were victorious. You won your case and became outstanding teacher with your own TV show. It just goes to show that when we stand up for what we believe in, we stand on our ethics and do our job, we reap the rewards. The things or suggestions that I would have, I know that you were excited. I could hear it in your voice. The vocal variety was there, but your pacing, pausing is something that would help to drive home some of the instances. Like when you say that the students had decided to launch a campaign to get you fired, stop and let us get that moment. Let us understand how it made you feel. Then you said, I won my case. Definitely stop. Let us absorb all of that. But that is the only suggestion that I would have until you got to the end of your speech and you said, thank you so very much. Your ending was excellent. When you added, thank you so very much, that took the ending to a different place. We are thanking you for giving such a phenomenal speech. You don't have to, but I want to thank you because your speech was great and I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee Marie and Rosalind. Thank you for an excellent evaluation, Dee Marie. All right. So now we are in our next section, which would be table topics. And Mr. Timer, I would like you to demonstrate for us the timing for the table topics.
Right. Thank you, Toastmasters of the meeting. Now you all can hear me?
Yes.
Right, great. Now it's time for table topics. And this is it. You need to speak for at least 1 minute, and the green card will be up. At 1.5 minutes or at 1 minute and 30 seconds, the yellow card will go up. The red card will go up at 2 minutes, and you will have 30 more seconds in which to wrap up, or else you will be disqualified. Thank you, Table Topics Master. Toastmaster Limited.
That's okay. Okay, I got it. Our table topics master for the day is Lynn Fraley. And Lynn, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Recently, 1,000 scientists came out and said, there is no climate change. This is something that's being pushed by people in high levels of power who are looking to have more control over the world. What would you tell an audience that challenged that thought for you? And I'm going to ask our first guest if you'd like to address that. And I'm forgetting his name. I want to say, I can't remember Cynthia, sorry.
Mario, is it Mario?
Yeah, Mary, I want to say Miriam.
Mario, can you repeat
Mario
again? Lynn?
So, Mario, would you like to address this table topic?
Well, that's a controversial one, but I'll give it a
Okay.
good old college try.
Good. All right. So should I repeat it or did you get it?
You might as well repeat it.
All right. Recently, 1,000 scientists came out and said there's no climate change. It's not as if there's not changes in the world's temperature as natural cycles, but in terms of being the climate change that they claim is being pushed by an agenda. What would your response to that be?
Climate change. Is there really any climate change? What is the value, the social value that we've given the word compound climate change? Change of the climate. Does climate change when you move from place to place? Or does it change even when we stay at the same place? How much climate does it have to change for it to be a climate change? Even the minuscule changes like subtle shifts of average temperatures over a specific period, does it qualify as climate change? Does the change of the Earth's polar qualify as climate change? Is it cooling? Is it heating up? Is it cooling down? What really is climate change? It's something that I myself, self-admittedly, was a disbeliever, and I thought climate change was a hoax. And I watched a documentary, Zeitgeist, something like that, a while ago, and it was like it was supposed to be something that it was like politicized, and it was like spread throughout the media, something that's actually true, but it's fake, and there was all this data that debunked it. But then the more I dug into it, the more I realized it's actually always has been. We just never addressed it as climate change. We put this social value on it and we qualify it as climate change. Now, how extreme it is, it's up to the professionals and the scientists to know, and how much it's emphasized or maybe hyperboled in the public side, that's a different story. So whether there is climate change, there's always has been. It's how we interpret it that remains on our point of view. That'll be all from my side.
Thank you so much. Well done. The second question I have, or I should say the second table topic I have, has to do with when we're giving a speech. And Sandra, I'd like to address you with this. When you're giving a speech, and at some point you just kind of go, either where am I or do I have the audience? What's your favorite strategy to collect yourself again as you're giving your speech?
Thank you for offering me that question. Well, I'm not sure what I do. I think that whatever I do is kind of unconscious. I don't consciously think, oh, I have to, spark it up or, do something. But I plan my speeches very carefully. I can't just, stand up and realize something I want to say. I have to plan what I'm going to say before I get there. So I'm not going to change what I'm going to say to get people's attention, but I might be more active. I might, approach a little more or back up, or I might be more action in the but I'm not going to change my speech because I have that figured out, and I just don't have the bandwidth to make the new stuff when I'm standing in front of people. That's all I can do is just stand there in front of people and be myself. But I have to know what I'm going to say. But I think that's what I do. If I want to get the attention more, I get more active, more in, more out, more flailing about. That's what I do. Thanks, Len. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great response, and I know you do great speeches, so I can see you doing that. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to ask our Sergeant of Arms, who so dutifully helps us get organized, Sally. I'd like you to address this particular question. In the early 1900s, there were fleets of cars that ran on batteries. And they would go in and have the batteries switched out and went on their way. And that's a piece of history that's been lost. What's your response to that?
I'm sorry, I did not understand the question.
Okay, the questions, I'd like you to respond to this. What is your response to this fact that in the early 1900s, there were fleets of cars that ran on electric batteries? They would drive in, the battery would get switched out, and they would drive off, and they were not consuming gas or oil. So how would you comment on that?
Well, I think we're undergoing a great deal of experimentation and rethinking our whole operation with owning a car and using it every single day. I'm in love with the old cars. They're juicy. And every time I see an old car that's really old, I'm amazed at someone who could bring it back to life. And I think the battery aspect is worrying me because I understand we have a different set of exposures of our climate. And so I'm not quite sure what the balance is between changing from gasoline to battery power, because the battery is enormously poisonous and we have no way to get rid of it. So I think we're getting kind of stuck in a circle. And the circle has got to be broken somewhere to invent, one, a new need for enormous transportation, and two, how we're going to use it and how are we going to dispose of whatever aspect we invent. And it does worry me. I'm very, very interested and invested in climate change, in our evolution in caring and finding plants and animals that are important to keep alive. Thank you very much.
Well done. All my winners in table topics today. Sometimes I think climate change gets confused with taking care of the earth, Mother Earth, consideration of resources, and really what the end game is. Do we have time for another one, or are we pretty well done, Madam Toastmaster? Do we have time for another table topic?
You could do
I
one
think
more.
I'm going to turn the. Okay, great. So it was mentioned earlier today about rising tides and that the ocean's rising. How do you, so I'd like a volunteer at this point for
How about Teresa Cherry?
Teresa.
Jeez,
That
it's
was
been a
just
while.
that was exactly my thought. Teresa, how do you respond to the fact that we talk about climate change and raising oceans, yet many national leaders have bought very expensive homes on the waterfront? Can you address that, please? Thank you so much.
Yes, it is interesting that oceanfront, lakefront property seems to be a very desirable location for houses in general. However, I really like, well, we won't go there yet. However, if people become aware of the vagaries, differences in climate, in weather near a body of water, whether that is a river or an ocean, they really need to stay aware of what they have exposed themselves to. And the whole idea of the levels of water rising universally is troublesome. It's particularly troublesome for those people who live on islands, because they now have the luxury of oceanfront property that may very well be underwater in the next couple of decades. So I'm in the Midwest. We're very close to a beautiful lake. And I am far enough away from it where I don't have to worry, which makes me kind of happy. But I do feel for those folks that are building huge houses on oceanfront or lakefront property. That was a little bit of a ramble, but
welcome
that's
to the party.
table topics. You ask, you get.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you for the opportunity of doing table topics.
Thank you, Lynn, for those excellent thought-provoking questions. Oh my gosh, regarding climate change and how are we? What are we doing? How are we thinking about this? Are we being responsible as citizens of the earth? So thank you for you and Ryan kind of had us really thinking about who we have been being in regards to what's happening on our earth. And so, Teresa really brought out a valid point about the floods and the water rising, and she spoke about the islands. And one of the things I can say, like right now in Jamaica, we had beautiful beaches, and one that's near to Kingston. The last time I visited, I was shocked because there was no beach. All of that beach, that beautiful sand and everything was gone, and all the shops that were on the beach, like further up on the beach, that's where the water is now. And I was like, what in God's name is happening? So she is definitely right about what will happen in a few years. So overall, I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity of being the Toastmaster of the Day for this meeting today. I thought all the speeches were excellent. Our first speaker, Brian, as I said, he really had us thinking about, is it really necessary for us to be going to Mars when trying to go to Mars when there are so many problems here that we need to fix. And I like the fact that he gave us some solutions. Like, we have created these solutions. So why are they not using all that money that they're generating to go to Mars to just fix the problem here on Earth? yeah, there's a race to I guess I don't know if it's humanize Mars. I don't know what that's about, but God knows. Anyhow, so I also appreciated Carrie and Dee Marie and Professor King. I'm sorry, Professor Roslin. So Carrie, I really love your speech, and I like that you are you're having us think about abuse, child abuse, and the intricacies of child abuse, the trauma of child abuse, and the impact. And I so appreciate that your vulnerability and that you're taking your story on the road. With this speech, I felt like you chose body language and I don't remember what, but I felt like your body language was not as impactful as I've seen you do. And so my request of you, I don't know if Carrie's still here, my request of you is that when, especially when you're talking about, driving in the back of the car and the silence, and then when you're speaking about what happened in church, and when you're speaking about what happened to you, I've seen you really express that. And so what was missing for me in your speech was, from your body language, I was not getting that emotional impact in those times. And so I'm requesting of you to, I don't know if somebody told you to dumb it down and your vocal variety. I've heard you give that vocal variety as well, and I'm asking you to maintain that, because that's you draw us in with the song, but I want you to continue helping us to really be engaged in that process, giving us the impacts of each situation that occurred, with your vocal variety as well as your body language. What else did I want to say? I don't know, is there anything that could possibly be done when you're speaking? I know that you have a little runny nose, but it can be a little distracting while you're speaking. So is there, for your upcoming speech, is there anything that can be done to alleviate that before the speech, so you're not putting up your nose while you're speaking? No, I'm just saying, Carrie, I love you. I'm not saying this in a bad way or anything. I'm just saying I want you to be fully impactful, so that is not distracting anybody, right? So that's why I'm telling you that. So if there's anything that can be done about that, please, do that. All right. Dorothy, Dee Marie King. So Dee Marie, yes, I love your speech. And I thought that Carrie really honed it in when she gave your evaluation. I agree with her about not using the crutch up front. Because for me, it was a little distracting that the crutch came up front and I was focused on the crutch versus listening to what you were saying. Even though I knew where it would come in the conversation. So I agree with Carrie to use the crutch at the appointed time. I would say I've seen a lot of improvement in your speech. Just like with Carrie, I like how you took us from civil rights movements into your conversation. It flowed nicely. One of the things that I would like you to do is also, don't be afraid to use your body language and your give us the emotional impact at each stage as well. I feel like you did that, but I wanted more. Like I wanted to be more into your speech. Let me see. Yeah, overall, excellent speech. And our last speaker, Rosalind, Professor Khan, thank you so much for taking us on the journey of your trauma to your, being a TV celebrity. I could identify with some of the things that you were saying, knowing the intricacies and the politics that can sometimes happen on college campuses. And, just thank you so much for taking us through that journey. And here are some areas where I thought that you could improve upon what you spoke about. When you spoke about the students taking you through fire, right? And you spoke about the going to court each time. Again, well, I think DeMarie King said it. I did not really get the emotional impact of each situation when you had to go to court, and like I would have liked when you said I won, like you really expressed it, I won, or something like that. And the other part when you spoke about having to go back and forth, the stress of it, like to show that in your body language, so those are the only things. I thought all the speeches were excellent speeches today, and this is going to be a really nice pod going towards TEDx. This is in my opinion, everybody has excellent speeches and have something to share with the world. So thank you so much for this opportunity. All right, I'm going to pass this over to our president, Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. And thank you for waking me up. I am almost gone to sleep due to the fact that I have been in this meeting since the beginning and I haven't had a chance to speak, and that's highly unusual. But that said, thank you.
I am sorry. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no worry. So, but that said, today's speeches were truly extraordinary. I was moved by each and every one of them.
I'm sorry, Tala, can you please give us a review of the pod? Not the speakers, but the pod. How did the pod function, especially the Toastmaster of the Day evaluator, general evaluator? That would be really helpful.
All right. So I have to give a review about how the pod functioned as a whole, as a unit. All right. So first of all, lovely, tightly knit pod. And I believe that the participants in the pod had a great opportunity to enhance their skills through speaking and evaluating simultaneously in quick succession. And that really, really adds to one's skills and encourages one to think on their feet. I also think that the management of the pod was very tight, very, disciplined. I also think that Toastmasters of the Day performed her role very well, not only keeping the meeting on track, but announcing all the roles and role players correctly, and also maintaining a vital energy within the meeting. So I believe overall it was a great success, and I'm not the one to opine on this, but I believe that the pod participants would themselves testify that they feel significantly more skilled after participating in this pod. So I urge all of you to ask yourself that did you learn a lot? If you did learn a lot during this pod, I think it has been a great success. We in bargain got to listen to absolutely phenomenal speeches. The speech quality was great. The evaluation quality was great, especially considering the fact that the evaluations were largely coming thick and fast on top of the speeches. The evaluators did not have much time to compile the evaluations, so that taught them not only to analyze, but to analyze quickly and on their feet and give meaningful feedback to the speakers. So I believe that is sufficient.
Fabulous. Thank you, Tala. And is it BPE turn now, Timo D?
Yes. So Talha, thank you so much for your evaluation of the entire pod. And so now I will turn it over to VPE Cynthia Stott.
I'm standing in. I'm standing in
She's
for the
standing in
stand-in.
for right.
Yeah.
Okay, for Lydia.
Atifa and Lydia, yeah. Well, we have quite a team going on there. And I need someone to write down the roles and then send them to me, because we're going to get who wants to do what role. So Dee Marie, would you be able to write them down? Or do I have another volunteer?
Okay, I'll do it.
Who's that?
I'm Sandra.
Sandra. Okay, great. Awesome. So first of all, I'm going to go off camera because I have to look at my notes. First of all, we have the for the 10th of April, which is the same time slot in two weeks. We have the pod again in the main room. We have Dee Marie King, Lynn Fraley, Teresa Cherry, Taze McLeod, Ryan Roper, and Carrie Kelly. So we have for April 10th, we have Lynn Fraley is the table topics master again. I'm going to confirm. Is that good for you, Lynn? Lynn?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
And Dee Marie, you're slated to be the Toastmaster of the day, which is combined with the general evaluator for that hybrid role. Are you up for it, Dee Marie, on the 10th? Maybe she's not available. And Taze McLeod, you're again the timer. Are you up for that?
Yes.
Okay, great. And Teresa Cherry, who great to see you today. You're a speaker and an evaluator on the 10th, April 10th. Are you available?
Who is that? Tell me again.
Teresa Cherry. Teresa?
I'm available.
Great!
Looking
Wonderful!
forward to it.
And Ryan Roper's a speaker evaluator. I'll follow up with him. And Carrie Kelly, you're also a speaker evaluator. Are you prepared for that? April 10th?
You know what? I might need to figure out how to do these evaluations because they are not working very well for me. So maybe I should skip.
I thought it was really good. Do you just need, like I did today, to read the objectives for you?
Yeah, that might, until I figure out how to do that.
Yeah, then we can have somebody read them for you.
Okay.
The objectives. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll have somebody else do that. Great. If nobody else, me. That's why I like to keep myself without a role so I can float. Great. And your evaluation was excellent. So that was great. Okay. So that's for the 10th. Now to the next meeting, which is the 3rd.
Excuse me. I'd like to fill that in a little bit. You want me to write? I want to fill in I didn't get all the names.
Oh, okay. So we have, let's see, what name? What are you looking for?
I want to know what you just told me to write down, the name. I want to know.
Okay, the speaker and the speaker. Well, I've got those written down, so you're okay with that. But we do have room for one more speaker. And I'll probably ask Alex if he's available. But if somebody else wants to speak on the 10th, that would be great. But I have all those names.
Am I speaking
down.
later in April? Is that why you put me on the?
You're not in this pod.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait a second. You are. You're Toastmaster of the day, so you are speaking on the 24th.
This is Lynn. So I'm not the speaker. I'm Lynn, and I'm not the Toastmaster. I'm 24th.
You're the table topics master.
On the 10th.
On the 10th. On the 24th, you are a speaker and evaluator.
Right. Got it.
Yeah, I
Perfect,
didn't
thank
go
you.
over the 24th. Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you have all, you have
Which
all-
means that then you don't want me speaking on the 10th also, just the 24th.
No, the 10th, no, the 10th you can't
Right.
speak.
Perfect, good.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Did
have
you-
all, you have all those names and things written. So what is it you want me to write?
The next part I'm going to have you write down. So there is one speaker spot available if somebody wants to speak. Does anybody want to speak that's not taking a role that day?
What is that on the 10th, Cynthia?
On the 10th.
Okay.
Is that that's in the morning, huh?
Yeah, same time as this in 2 weeks.
If
in the main
the,
room.
if the slot is free, I can take it up.
Is that the main room? The main room.
We're only having one main room. So Tala bin Hamid, yeah.
Yeah.
Put him as a speaker. And can you evaluate also?
Yes, sure.
Great. So speaker and evaluator for Tala. And then that makes our complement complete. Great, great. On the 10th. Now, I really want to focus on the 3rd because we don't have everything filled. We only have one speaker. I'm not on the 3rd. So that's the evening session, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. And we only have one speaker, an evaluator. That's Lydia Norman. And she's also table topics master. Does anyone want to speak on the 10th? On the 3rd, I'm sorry. The evening session.
Oh, that's an evening session?
An evening session.
Maybe I want to.
Right. Oh, great. Put your name down. And
Okay,
then can you be an evaluator too?
I could be. So the 3rd. The 3rd of
April.
Yeah.
At 5:30 p.m. Okay, so speaker evaluator. Anyone else for a speaker?
Anyone, even non-members or members only?
No, we don't allow non-members to speak. You can take a role, but you can't be a speaker.
What roles are available in 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks, well, 2 weeks we already did. This is next week. This is an evening session. I don't think you're available that time. I think it's the middle of the night for you. So, any other speakers? Okay, we have Sally Reyes is the grammarian. Is that right, Sally?
Yes, ma'am. By the
Oh.
way, there were 65 ums.
What?
We had 65 ums today.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So let's think about it for a week and see if we can get rid of some of
Yes. Lots of impromptu changes. Okay. And Isaac, you're Sergeant at Arms and Zoom host, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. And do we have any volunteers for timer at the 5:30 p.m. session on April 3rd? We have Toastmaster is Michelle and General Evaluator is Rosalind Kahn. So we just need a timer. Okay, then we'll just follow up afterward. Did you get those, Sandra?
I did not get what you wanted me to write down. I do not know.
Okay, just a second. And Rosalind, can you please say your question rather than putting it in the chat so I can understand?
Of course, I always like to speak. My name is Rosalind. I'm in a contest this weekend. It's an area contest on Saturday. Is there anybody in this meeting that has a meeting that I could come and speak to practice this speech for the international competition?
And put that in the chat, in the WhatsApp too. And also put your link for Saturday.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And speak.
I'm sorry. What's your name?
I was thinking if Rosalind would like to speak after this meeting.
Oh, okay.
Like today?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put my WhatsApp number in. And
Okay, are you available at 3 p.m., Rosalind, today?
and that is 3 p.m. today. Let me look at my schedule here. Is that to speak in your group?
Yes.
No, my club.
Sure.
club.
Where's your club?
And in Trinidad, and Carrie and I are also speaking.
Oh, sure. Sure.
So it would be a Leaders Worldwide group.
Okay. Let me just pull out my calendar.
No, it's today. Not, you don't need a calendar. It's today.
Oh, well.
Well,
I
she's got to
actually-
check her schedule.
I got to check
Oh.
my schedule.
Yeah.
I
So
tend to
why
overbook
don't
them.
you two follow up in the WhatsApp group or connect
thanks.
on independently on WhatsApp?
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm
Okay.
on the guest chat.
Okay.
Oh, on the guest chat. Oh, yeah, you're not in the member group yet. Okay. So
I forgot something. I forgot.
can
to
you
ask
say your name so I know who's speaking?
Nadine. I forgot to ask Taze to give us the timer reports.
Oh, yes, we absolutely need that. Especially Carrie and Rosalind as they're doing contest speeches.
Right.
Did anyone go over time on the speeches?
No, and actually, I didn't mind if you all had forgotten. Do you all want the long, detailed,
Just for the speakers
stuff?
because they're contestants. Actually, we just need it for Carrie and
The
Rosalind.
prepared speakers.
Yes, Carrie and Rosalind.
Okay. Rosalind was 6 minutes 50 seconds. You said Carrie was
Yes.
7 minutes 15 seconds.
1-5, 7 minutes,
Yeah.
1-5. Okay, great. So
I
they're
remember
both within time.
Yeah. Did Demery do a prepared speech? No, it was an evaluation.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay. Yes, she did a speech.
Okay.
Six.
So quickly,
6
please.
minutes 39 seconds for Demery.
Okay.
Rosalind was 6 minutes 50
Okay.
seconds. And
Okay.
that's
We're
it.
done. We're done.
Right.
Okay. Gotta
Correct.
go. Okay. Now, did you put down, did we have a speaker for the third? I think no one volunteered for that. And we still need a timer. So I guess I don't need you to write anything down, Sandra. We didn't get anybody else
Okay.
that wanted to do anything. Would you, Taze, would you be willing to be a timer on the third, or is it too late for you in the day?
I could be here.
You could be here. You could be the timer.
I don't
That
like it, but yes.
Yeah, but you need to practice.
I'll be here. That's
okay.
That's Monday night for me. I'll be here.
Monday at 5:30 p.m. It's 8:30 your time. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Sandra, can you write Taze down for our timer? And that's it for the VPE. Everybody signed up, and then I'll follow up individually with some people. Great. Back to you, Mr. President, first to close us out.
Thank you so much, Madam VPE, Acting VP Education. And congratulations on a job well done. As I always say, there is rarely a person happier than a VP Education who has filled all or most of the roles for the next meeting. So great job by our members and of course you. So now it is time for giveaways. And today, since it's Ramadan, and let me share something. Today, we received a huge box full of something. What is that something? I'll tell you later, but it was meant for us to break our fast. And that came from a Toastmaster. And I told my household that had I not belonged to the Toastmasters community, this huge box of goodies to eat would not have come our way. So who says that you get nothing out of Toastmasters? You get a lot, both spiritual and monetary. So that said, the huge box actually contained Subway sandwiches. So one has to appreciate the gestures, if not the actual food itself, and one should not be ungrateful. In this day and age, any food is welcome. But today I'm giving away sandwiches. So first we'll start with our guest, Mario or Super Mario. Mr. Mario, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir.
All right. So first answer me this. Did you get Princess Peach or are you still searching?
I'm sorry, speech about what?
No. I was asking, did you get your Princess Peach, which Mario is always searching for in the games?
Oh, Princess Peach.
Princess Peach. Yeah, Princess Peach.
Oh,
Without the
I
break,
always knew about Zelda. I didn't
that's a
know
different
Princess
game.
Peach.
Yeah, that's another one. So
Look,
did you get
this
her?
Bowser guy is being a real jerk. So just when you think you've finally caught Princess Peach, Bowser always comes up with another plan, and I really hate that.
Well, of course, if you finally get Princess Peach, how will Nintendo sell more games? So ultimately, that's what you have to put up with. So, Mr. Mario, what are you taking away from this meeting today?
Good question. I wanted to give feedback to the prepared speeches, but I don't know if I want to do it via chat, email, or any other means. So I was just observing it and kind of kept the feedback for myself. I don't know. Just happy to be here. That's all the takeaway from me.
All right. So if I were to offer you a sandwich right now, what kind would it be?
Chocolate.
Chocolate sandwich.
Yes.
Oh,
There are no rules in food. You can experiment with anything.
all right. All right. That's an interesting challenge. So I'll start making one and I'll send it to you. Is that okay?
Sure.
Just let us all know how it tasted once you've had it. All right.
Will do.
So I just sent it to you. Okay. I've thrown it and you should receive it. All right. Next, we move to our Toastmaster of the day, Nadine. Yeah. So what are you taking away today from the meeting?
Oh, I thought I gave my my pointers already. Well,
Yeah, you did, but
well, what
again,
I'm taking away is teamwork makes the dream work. Today was fluid compared to the last time we had a meeting. So I think we learned from, from our shortcomings. And I see, where we're moving towards, like we all have one goal to move towards the TEDx talk and to be efficient. And so I see where efficiency is being expressed. Yeah.
all right. So I'm giving away sandwiches today. So what kind of sandwich would you like?
Ackee and saltfish sandwich.
Sorry?
Ackee and saltfish sandwich.
All right. Interesting. Interesting.
It's a national dish in Jamaica.
It's a Jamaican sandwich.
All right. All right. I'd love to have that myself. So I'll prepare one for myself and send one along to you.
Okay.
So yeah, here it comes. Grab it.
Thank you.
And one for you as well, Taze.
Thank you. Thank you.
Which brings us to you, Taze. What are you taking away?
What I'm taking away for tonight's meeting is every role counts, every role matters. The last time I was a timer was about 40 years ago. So well, when I say 40, I really mean 4. 40 years ago, I was the timer. So every role counts. In order for others to practice, somebody has to be the timer, and when it's my turn to speak, then somebody has to be the timer for me. So everyone has to make this sacrifice and do roles, even though you may not like it or may not favor it, but it is part of the team work or the team responsibility. So that is what I have taken away from tonight's meeting. Not that I passionate about being a timer, but I understand it's a sacrifice so that others could grow. And when my turn comes, someone will take the sacrifice so that I can grow. So that's what I'm going away with for
That's
today's
beautiful.
meeting.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. And yes, sometimes not only in Toastmasters, but in life, we have to do few things that we don't like, but we have to do them in order to contribute to the community because someone is doing them for us. And I personally love the timer role because A, it keeps one alert, and B, it enables one to listen closely to all the speeches. But yes, you're right, it can be also quite taxing. So as a result, I'm giving away not one, but two sandwiches. You already received one. So what other sandwich would you like right now?
I will take a beak and shark sandwich.
All right. And
That's
could you
that is our national sandwich. It's a national dish invented in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
So after
And
we swim with the sharks, and then we eat the shark after we swim with them. And it's a nice sandwich with a lot of different sauces, spices, herbs, toppings.
all right.
It's a
So
super sandwich. It's a super
wow.
sandwich at the
And
beach.
and it has actual shark in it.
Yes,
Oh,
real shark.
wow.
Real shark.
Wow. Wow. I'd love to try it. So all right.
Yes, you
Again,
will.
I'll make
I guarantee everyone will like it.
all right. All right. So again, I'll make one for myself and sending along one to you. So please catch it. And
Thank
then
you.
next we have okay, how about Lynn? Lynn, what about you? What are you taking away?
I'm taking away what a wonderful international group do we get to hang with. That's a wonderful takeaway. And be with such accomplished speakers.
Wow. Wow. And that's something we can all be grateful for every time there's a Toastmasters meeting, not just this club, but any club. One feels grateful to be part of this community. And there's really no community like this on the planet. So yeah, then wholeheartedly agree with you. And what kind of a sandwich would you like?
I would like one with avocado, tomato, lettuce, and some vegan mayonnaise.
Oh, all right. So yours is like, can we nickname it the hipster sandwich? Because that's what it has all the ingredients that
Oh,
all the
good.
cool people
Perfect.
today are having. So yeah, all right. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
So yeah, there you go. Your newly improvised hipster sandwich.
Love
All
it.
right.
Love it.
I'm
Thank
throwing
you.
it to you. All right.
Good.
All right. Isaac, our Sergeant at Arms. What about you? What are you taking away?
Well, I was a little distracted, just a little under the weather. So what I was taking away is the speeches were all excellent, and I always learn something each time I hear them. And I thought it was a good meeting. Lots of energy, and I always enjoy it. So as far as the sandwich, I'm going to follow Lynn because I'm actually trying to go vegan. So give me a vegan nachos sandwich.
Oh my God. Well, that sounds lovely. That combines two of my favorite things. So there you go, Isaac. And you successfully foiled my attempts to ruin your drive to fitness, which you profess in each and every one of your speeches since a few weeks. So you successfully evaded that. I tried to ruin it by offering you a heavy sandwich, but you are a genius. So yeah, there you go. There is your sandwich. Please catch
All right.
it.
Thank you. I
And
got it.
try to enjoy a vegan sandwich. All right. Next, we have Carrie. Carrie, what about you? What are you taking away?
Okay, I am taking away. Two things. One, the remedy for the cough medicine, and something to handle my sniffles, because this is the third speech that I had to do, and people are getting distracted by my runny nose. So I gotta find something to fix all that. And I'm taking away the fact that I need to be more consistent with how I do my speeches. So that's what I'm taking away today. Thank you.
All right, let me tell you one thing, Carrie. I think with speeches like yours, what you have to say takes a backseat to how you say. Your speeches are always so inspiring. They are heart touching. They are goosebumps causing. And yes, I think Toastmasters is the only platform where you not only get to improve your communication skills, but you also get remedies for the ills that are ailing. So where else? Where else would you get such free medical advice? So yeah, so that is one of your takeaways, the remedy for your runny nose. And the second one, I'm offering you a sandwich of your choice. What kind of a sandwich would you like to have?
So since it comes from Subway, they have these things they call the sandwich in the bowl. I want the spicy chicken sandwich in the bowl.
Oh, I love their salad in a bowl. The thing is,
Yes.
the box we received, it was clearly just, someone told them to fill the box with this number of sandwiches, and they just got away with not stuffing them with good stuff. But yeah, salad in a bowl. I'll have one for myself. And I'll throw one to you. So yeah, there you have it. Please have it.
Thank you.
Finally, we come to Cynthia. So what are you taking away?
Well, they were amazing speeches. It was phenomenal today to hear Carrie again practicing for her district, her division contest, and also Rosalind practicing for her area contest. So that was great. And Isaac, many of us got to go to see him speak at his area contest, and he placed second. He was really, really great. And I'm so glad, Isaac, that you didn't get your cough until afterward, because that would have interrupted your delivery of your speech. So that was really great. And I am taking away with me teamwork. We had so much teamwork today to make it all teamwork to make the dream work. And that's true with TEDx. It's a big dream. No other Toastmasters club has had a TEDx event since 2010, and that was in Bahrain, and only one club one time. And I love what Tay said about teamwork for timing, that he will be the timer, so somebody else will be his timer. But I want to say, when you are an excellent timer, you have an opportunity for visibility at contests, and especially at international contests that we're going to have at the convention this summer in the Bahamas, which will be close to your home. And timers there have to be really good. And then they give you 8 hours of timer training in addition. Yes. So it's a wonderful opportunity to have a role in the World Champion of Public Speaking without having to win.
Wow.
Great.
That's
and
amazing.
a sandwich.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if I'm up for that shark. Is that just shark fin or shark? any part of the shark?
It's fried shark. That's
It's
seasoned.
fried shark. Fried shark.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I'll
fried
be
shark.
game. I'll be game and take that with all of the mixins and the stuffings, and I'll give it a try.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
I've had
So-
alligator. Why not shark?
Wow. All right. All right. Yeah, why not? Why not? So, okay, here comes another shark sandwich for you. I'm throwing it your way. And again, I'm having one for
Ooh.
myself. I'm having one for
Lovely.
myself. Because in Ramadan, we have a license to eat endlessly. Like, so I'm having every one of those sandwiches for myself as well. Somehow we think that just because we are hungry for like 10, 12 hours, for the remaining 10, 12 hours, we can have food equivalent to like 3 days worth of food. So yeah. And that's why very few of us emerge any fitter or leaner after Ramadan. So here is betting against all the odds. I'm trying to get myself disciplined this Ramadan. Thank God these sandwiches are virtual. So with that, we are 1 minute past our ending time. What a wonderful meeting we had. We should be grateful and see